is the end of 2023. Hello, everyone. Hello, disruptors. We took a week off and we are back to finish up 2023 with the right perspective. Hey, it's Dr. Alisa Whyte, your number one mindset disruptor, and we are here for an exceptionally special episode of Mindset Mastery Moments. Today, we're diving deep into the art of goal setting and understanding why it's not just about having goals, but it's truly about how we navigate the journey to success. You see, goals are definitely a foundational part of establishing a framework that allows us to really and truly achieve everything that we want to be. Today, our esteemed guest really doesn't need introduction, but there will be one. You know, when we think about getting through our goals, this year as I sat and I took inventory, is what I call it, of my goals, and I looked at all the things that I did accomplish, all the things I didn't accomplish, and all the things that I didn't even set out to accomplish, but I did. Because, hey, we have to be very thorough, and we'll talk about that on another episode. But our guest today says that the address you input into your life determines the destination. My friend, I am thrilled that this individual has decided to be our inaugural guest on Mindset Mastery Moments. His work and his life perfectly embodies the core principles of what this podcast stands for in the world. His journey from homelessness to becoming a global influencer and a top motivational speaker is testament to the transformative power of mindset mastery. Today, I am honored to bring to our stage, let's give him an absolute warm welcome, our very own Dr. Karim R. Ellis. Woo! Welcome, Dr. Karim.
Well, it's always a pleasure. It's a privilege. And it's an honor to be here today. Come on, we get ready to kick off a brand new year. I'm talking about how we can do and achieve more in 2024. And it starts with mindset mastery. So I'm ecstatic about some of the territory we're going to climb into today. I'm ecstatic about it.
Absolutely, Dr. Karim. Listen, I waited weeks. We talked about you being on the podcast, and we wanted the timing to be so perfect for our listeners, because I believe that a lot of us set goals that we did not achieve, and we have a whole attitude about it. But you know what, Dr. Green, before I let you loose, I hope everybody's got a cup of water, because you're going to put some ice in. If you don't have water, just get some ice in whatever beverage you're going to drink. Put down the coffee cup. Don't, even if it's 20 degrees outside, because it's about to get really hot in here. I want to tell you a few things about our guest today, Dr. Karim R. Ellis. I want to let you know that he is not just a phenomenal speaker. He does not really need accolades, but he's got a whole lot of them as badge of honors. Let me tell you about Dr. Karim today. Dr. Karim is known as the number one breakthrough strategist. Did you hear what I said? The number one breakthrough strategist. He is also international bestselling author about the book we're going to talk a lot about, which is GPS My Success. Also, he is an international motivational speaker of the International Motivational Speaker of the Year. He is also the founder and creator of a phenomenal Speakers Academy, because listen, when you're as great as he is, it is important. He'll talk some more about mentorship and the importance of that in your journey. You must be able to teach what you have learned so that legacy continues. He has also been traveling the world, not only speaking, but he also is an avid humanitarian and a servant leader. Dr. Karim has been featured in news outlets such as NBC, Fox, CBS, Yahoo Finance, and whole list of other media, both nationally and internationally. Also, I can tell you that he developed something that I love to hear him speak about, and that is the VSM matrix. One of his principles that is also embedded in his international best-selling book, where he talks about goal achievement. And also, I can go on and on and on, but you're going to hear more and more this outstanding human that stands before us to teach us today how to literally GPS your way to more in 2024. Dr. Kareem, tell us all about it. What is the difference with setting goals and GPSing our way?
Absolutely. So I think all of us set goals. I don't think there's a person out there that has never woke up January 1st and screamed out new year, new me, going in a new direction, going to accomplish and do so many different things. And most statistics say that the concession of most New Year's resolutions fall flat by February 1st. That means in roughly a 30-day time frame, most people that set out goals to lose weight, to make more money, to go after that dream vacation, that dream house, most of these things fall flat by February 1st. And we're going to get into why that happens. And we're going to talk about 5 dynamic ways of how you can stay focused from the beginning of the year all the way to the cusp of the end of the year and see dynamic results all throughout your life. We're talking finances, we're talking relationships, we're talking employment, we're talking entrepreneurship, we're talking all things that should matter to you as you're trying to go out there and get extraordinarily more in 2024. So I'm ecstatic to see where this conversation goes today.
I am too, because let me tell you, guys, this book with this handsome guy on the cover, GPS My Success. This book, I call it, Dr. Primos, I tell him it's a manual. And I have read it 3 times, just the book. I got the hardcover copy, guys, because when I first read his book, it was online. I got a soft copy, but then I had to get a hard copy because this thing, it's in my pocketbook. It goes to work with me. I can pop it out. And I've also been able to listen to it audibly on my Amazon account. So it is a manual. One of the things you talk about, Dr. Kareem, in the book, in the very beginning chapter, is that you shared a scenario, and I want to bring this up today. You talked about losing 30 pounds in 30 days. Now, that's not something that I've been able to do yet. And I say yet, right? But you were so specific about achieving that.
Yeah.
Talk to us about why, when we write our goals down at the end of the year and we move into the year, why is it that statistics says 80% of individuals will set goals for the new year and only 8% of them will actually attain them? How did you manage to set your goals so clearly by using the principles in what I call my life manual for goal setting and achieving? Because we don't just set, we achieve.
Sure.
How did you do that?
Yeah, well, that's an awesome question. I think that's the one question I get the most when it comes to goal achievement. And the reason why I called the book GPS My Success, one of my favorite scriptures in the book of life says, write the vision and make it plain. It doesn't say make it confusing, doesn't say make it convoluted, because it's darn near impossible for your mind to go after something if there's no clarity involved in it. We're going to go deep into this today. So if you are watching or listening, take detailed notes. And then, of course, you probably want to pick up the book at the end of all this, right? But that's what we'll start the journey at. We'll start it with setting the address. The reason why I love a GPS so much is because I believe the GPS is a vision machine, meaning a GPS is useless till you first decide to give it an address. And for those of you that own GPS technology, I double dog dare you to prove me wrong. That GPS can't do anything until you first get clear as the driver of the vehicle as to where I want to go in this day, this time, this season, this age. So when it comes to losing weight, when it comes to making more money, when it comes to chasing goals and chasing dreams, that all starts the same exact way. First, I have to have clear vision on what it is I actually want. And the problem I see with most people, they move in a state of confusion, not clarity. So we'll jump into that in a second. But let me talk about why it is exceptionally important for you to set an address inside your life GPS. And there's a multitude of different things I could talk about, but I know we got time constraints. So I'm going to kind of narrow the focus down to 2 things. Number 1, whatever address you put inside a GPS, that becomes the central focus. I'm going to say this again. That that becomes the central focus. One of the videos I put up on my Instagram a few days ago, I talked about how I had a conversation with one of the world's greatest motivational speakers, a friend of mine by the name of Mr. Les Brown. And he says, we live in a day and an age with weapons of mass distraction, not destruction, because we used to talk about weapons of mass destruction, mass distraction. That means every day I wake up, from the time I get up to the time I lay down, between social media, between the news, between all the drama with friends and family members and relatives, the nonsense on my job, there are a bunch of multitudes of distractions that pop up every single day. And a distraction does one thing exceptionally well. It robs you of your focus. What blows my mind is if I decide to right now jump inside my car and shoot downtown Cincinnati, which is about a good 22 to 25 minute ride, right? I can be driving in my car after I put that address in the GPS. I can have my Snapchat open. I can have my LinkedIn account open. I can be listening to my iTunes while I'm driving. I can have all these things going on if I'm using GPS on my phone. And my GPS will interrupt a phone conversation. My GPS will interrupt whatever app I'm on. If I'm in the middle of sending an email, it will circumvent all that because the GPS, while it's in usage, it becomes one of the dominant applications in the process. It will interrupt everything to let me know I'm still en route to my dynamic destination. And so that's what I mean by focus. When I put an address inside my GPS, I have to have intent focus on where I'm going to. The second reason this is so important, it lets me know what resources is needed for the journey. And I got to be candid about this, because I hope no one thinks that whatever goal you're going after, you're going to get there without the usage of resources. Well, Doc, what's resources? I'm glad you asked. Talk about resources, I'm talking about money. I'm talking about the value of time. I'm talking about the education that you have or the education you need to get. We're talking about the connections. I think success is 50% what you know, 50% who you know, and what they know about you. For most of us, in order to get to the next level, it's not about what I know, it's about who I know and what they know about me, right? And then we're talking about relationships, where they're talking about romantic, friendship, family, and then we're talking about, more importantly, our God-given gift and talent. Because I think these are all resources I can utilize that's going to help me get to my finish line quicker and faster. But if I don't know what address I'm going after, what will happen, Dr. Alisa? I'll mismanage the resources. Like, I remember back before I was 26 years old and I didn't have an address in my GPS. I wasn't thinking entrepreneurship. I wasn't thinking about escaping the 9 to 5. I wasn't thinking about speaking and traveling all over the world. So when money hit my pocket, I would find a way to blow it hanging out with buddies, going out to clubs, going out to bars. I'm going to be candid. Back in the day, going out with women, I was spending money on everything except what it should have been spent on, right? And it's so important because we're right around the corner from income tax season. And I see this. I've coached and trained a lot of people. And for a lot of people, you know, I got to get that website up. I got to get my LLC created. I got to get my marketing plan. And so for a lot of people, they may be looking at that income tax return. If you got kids, I don't know, you know, maybe 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, whatever you're getting back. Do you have a plan for that money before it arrives? This is why vision is so important. If I don't know where I'm going, I'll mismanage my money. And that money could be the very thing that could catapult me into my fantastic finish line. If I don't know the value of time, I will spend my time engaging in everything and anything except for spending the time on the one thing that's most important, which is watering the dream seed of what I'm trying to grow and harvest in the season. If I don't have the right vision, I'll fail on education. Because I'll be honest with you, with most of us, our education goes from kindergarten to 12th grade. And if we decide to do the college thing, depending on whether you are focused on what you want, or if you are a career student. We know we got some career students that's been in the hallowed halls of college education for more than 4 years. I can't figure out my major. I'm going on year number 6. Sometime this year I'm figured out, right? But what I've learned is the education that served me the most in entrepreneurship is what I learned outside the school system.
Yes.
Those are the success principles, right? And if I'm not clear about the vision, then what will happen is I'll fail because I'll go after the wrong education. So I got to be clear about this vision thing, even down to the connections. When you get clear about the direction you're going in, you start to make strategic connections. It's amazing because most of us, we just connect with people based on our comfort level, meaning we have a few things shared in common. Maybe we work together 40 hours a week. So because we work together, we form a connection, right? Maybe because we go to the same church or we live in the same neighborhood. Oh, I see you all the time at the gym. We form a connection. But when I get clear about the vision, which is I want to escape my 9 to 5, I want to open up a business, I want a 6-figure salary. Now my connections differ because I'm strategically looking for people that's on the same playing field. that have the same high vibrational energy level versus the bottom feeders that may be slowing me down and taking me backwards. And of course, I gotta throw out their relationships. When I say relationships, I'm talking romantic relationships, whether you are married to the person, dating the person, whether it's a situationship where I don't know what we got going on, but we feeling each other, from different peers you hang around. When you get clear about the address, that'll even affect how you select the relationships in your life.
Yes.
That'll select how, because let's be real, for a lot of people, they are unequally yoked. And when I say unequally yoked, I'm not meaning marriage, because you can be unequally yoked in a friendship. You can be unequally yoked in a business partnership. Yes. There are so many ways you can be unequally yoked. But when you get clear on the vision, you get clear on who you should be riding with to your finish line versus who I got to release, who I got to let go. One of my favorite phrases is, I'm the CEO of my life. My life is a dictatorship, not a democracy. Yes. Which means I have the right to hire and fire as needed. If I feel that you are going to slow me down on the process of success in any way, shape, or form, I will dismiss you, give you your pink slip, and let you go before you figure out what happened. You'll just wake up one day and find yourself blocked on everything. I can't find him on Facebook. I can't find him on Instagram. He's not. I'm still there. I just let you go because I don't have anything for it, right? Yeah, so we got to be clear about this, because most of us are trying to chase a vision, but we don't even know what resources we need for the journey, or more importantly, what resources no longer serve us and service us, because we can hold on to outdated, expired resources on the journey, right? Sometimes mentorship arrangement, that's an outdated resource. If I hit a certain level of success, this person may no longer be able to pour into my cup anymore. So I got to know when to let people go as well.
Oh my goodness. One of my favorite, just so the viewers know, he has just breezed through the first 3 chapters of the book. if you listen, he is giving you the highlights. Okay, so again, it's shameless plug, because I don't talk about anything, and no one will ever be on this show besides Dr. Karim is part of my inner circle and his work. He's also been my coach, my mentor, and I'm blessed to call him my friend. But this book, you heard him, he just spilled it out. And so one of the things I'm going to pivot to that you kind of touched on, and I want us to linger a little bit longer there, is those common pitfalls, because you already talked about a couple of them. Those situationships, relationships, friendships, familiar relationships, even families. You've got to look at how that, you said in the book that you should make SMART goals and you should be so specific. Sure. And that the GPS cannot have 2 addresses in it at the same time. And I'm like, it don't get any more clear than that. But tell us that, because despite good intentions, many people fall short of their goals, Dr. Karim. Yeah. What are some of those common pitfalls, in addition to what you just gave us so well, that you've observed that when we try to set goals, and we're not having that right address, we put the right address in it, right? We're on the road because we're like, okay, I know what my purpose is. I know where I'm going. You said we can be distracted. Distracted. You also have this quote that I love. Distracted drivers destroy dreams. If I said it right, if I did, you correct me. But what are some of those pitfalls that we sit into that causes us not to achieve the goals once we get the right address in GPS?
Yeah. So what happens a lot of times, this is the age-old principle and philosophy. And for all my parents on here today, you'll recognize what I'm talking about, because I in my household growing up, we grew up super strict. We grew up with parents that made it clear the only way we were allowed to hang with certain kids was based on whether or not our parents knew your parents, right? Because they wanted to have some sort of idea what the element was. And so I believe in the birds with a feather flock together philosophy. The problem is, with most of us, we don't think about that when we start to form connections with people. So if I'm driving downtown, that's the scenario I gave earlier, and I decide to stop at the corner and pick someone up who's got their thumb out needing a ride, right? At that moment, if I pick that person up, put them in the car, I go 2 blocks down and someone else is out there saying my car broke down, they got their thumb up hitchhiking, I put them in. Before you know, I got 3 people in the car. My goal is to get downtown as quickly as possible, right? But when I pick up those 3 people, I guarantee you that 9 times out of 10, none of them are deciding to go downtown. They got their own destination they're trying to get to. And so now I have allowed myself to get distracted. Even though the GPS is telling me where to go, I'm now doing what this person needs. I'm now going where this person wants. I'm now doing what this person needs. And so, believe it or not, I could very, very easily waste all my time, right, running all these folks around and then fail to arrive at my destination. So the reason why I'm giving you the scenario, because many of us, and I know picking up hitchhikers is not safe. I'm not telling you to do that. Walk their grandparents say, Dr. Karim said, pick you up. I'm not telling you that. What I am saying to you is you got to be careful of the hitchhikers in your personal life. Woo! You're going to cross a lot of people that got their thumb up saying, hey, I'm trying to go here. Are you going my way? And before you know it, you will pick someone up based on a conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Based on shared acquaintances. Maybe you work at the same job. Maybe you belong to some of the same organizations or religious organizations. And before you know it, you are getting distracted because you are adding people to the journey that's not supposed to be in the car in the first place, right? So I want to be very, very clear. Anytime I have mismanaged resources, and I'm going to go a little bit spiritual here, so I'm not trying to offend anybody. I know we got different religious beliefs and backgrounds. I'm not trying to convert nobody. I'm not trying to baptize anybody, but I'm going to speak from the Christian's perspective using the book of life, right? What I have learned is the concept of resources for me boils down into two. Meaning, in order for me to be successful, I have to have certain resources. I gave you the resources on it. I said money, time, education, connections, relationships, and most importantly, my God-given gift and my talent. But I can water my resources down by bringing people along for the journey that's not supposed to be in the car in the first place.
Yes.
This is why I got to be so careful who I connect with, right? Yes. When we connect with people and we don't have our guard up, we don't stay focused. The GPS has been programmed, yet you are allowing yourself to get distracted. The GPS will still try to calculate every time you make a wrong turn, drop someone off. So the mission is the same, but what you're doing is you're wasting the most powerful resource you have, which is time. That's the thing that's not granted. It's not promised. We don't know how much time we have to get to our assorted finish line. So I want to be very, very clear before I let someone in the car. If I'm going 20 minutes towards downtown, which takes me west into Cincinnati, Ohio, and you asking me, can I run you 40 miles east, which is the opposite way, I'm not going to be the person to help you out. I would love to if I had the free time to give to you, but I want assignment in 2024 because I want to get my more, and my more is always larger than me. Right? Yes. One of the things we're going to talk about before we get off today is the idea that whatever my vision is, I don't want a selfish vision.
Ooh, come on.
Selfish vision, because I'll achieve that vision quicker and faster if I make the vision larger than myself. And facts about it, if the vision is larger than me, it's easier for me to tap into other people that can help me get that vision off the ground quicker and faster if it's not a selfish vision. Right? So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but I got to be clear about that because I can waste my resources very easily based on who I'm hanging with. I can waste my money, but we've been there. We've all gone out to put more money in our budget than, I'm hanging with somebody, right? Or the other thing is what I call the living like the Joneses, right? And we all know that. We see everybody on social media flossing and showing out. And so now we try to duplicate with our resources what we see. Right? And that's another way we get distracted. When that address is locked in the GPS, I don't care about what I see from other people. I don't care about what other people are doing. I don't care where other people are trying to get to. I'm focused intently, streamline, tunnel vision on my goal and my dream because that's the address I put inside the GPS. If I want to lose weight, I'm tunnel vision. If I want to raise money, I'm tunnel vision. If I want to form more strategic, collaboratively driven connections, I'm tunnel vision. I'm not allowing myself to get off the beaten pathway because of what other people around me may or may not be doing.
Ooh. Oh, listen, we have Dr. Karim is going to wrap up every episode that preceded this one in one episode. He said, you said, Dr. Karim, beware of the hitchhikers. You got the right address and stealing your most valuable resource, which is time. We just spoke about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, I want y'all to invite you to go ahead and grab yourself a nice cup of water with ice because he just turned on the oven. It's not cooking in here yet. So we'll be right back after a message from our sponsors. Woo, welcome back. We just came from pitfalls. Now, Dr. Karim, one of the things you mentioned also in the book is adapting your goals over time.
Yes.
You didn't say it exactly in those words, but you talk a lot about recalculating. The audience here on Mindset Mastery Moments globally We have come in and number one across different countries, but we've landed in the top 100 podcasts, top 1% in the world. We're blessed. So we've got a lot of people saying, Dr. Karim, does my goals need adjustment? Are there certain circumstances that change? How do you advise individuals to adapt their goals while maintaining the overall vision and staying? Remember, we've got the right address in the GPS now.
Sure.
But life starts lifing. How do we adapt?
Yeah, I like how you said that life starts lifing. And it's amazing how that they call it Murphy's Law. Murphy's Law says that which can go wrong will go wrong at that one inopportune moment in time. And so when Murphy decides to knock on your door and say hello, the question is, do you call it quits out of frustration? Do you call it quits because everything's not going according to plan? Or will you allow yourself to recalculate? The reason why this chapter in the book is so important is if I put an address inside of GPS and I allow myself to get distracted. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention while I was driving. Maybe I was looking at something on the side of the road and I missed my turnoff, right? I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to call myself harsh names and say, go back home, dummy, you messed up, right? I guess we can't make it to the finish line. Or if I'm driving down the road and there's a major accident and now the traffic is backed up and I can't move forward, again, I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm not going to call it quits. I'm not going to throw in the towel. I'm not going to go back home. I understand like a GPS will immediately begin to recalculate. Why? There's more than one way to make it to your fantastic finish line. The problem with most of us is we're so locked in the tunnel vision that we don't have flexibility. I'm gonna say that again. We're so locked on tunnel vision that we lack flexibility. And flexibility may take us off the beaten pathway. It may take you a little bit longer because the GPS is giving you a different route. That different route may cost you a little bit more of your time. It may cost you a little bit more of your money and your fuel, but you will make it to your fantastic finish line if you just follow the course. The problem with a lot of people is we run into what I call temporary delays. We think that temporary delay is a permanent no. There's a message I gave a long time ago where I said all red lights eventually turn green. Do you have the mental tenacity and patience in order to wait? Meaning, if you were trying to get your business off the ground, if you were trying to elevate from 5 figures to 6 figures, if you're trying to make your love life work out and you keep running into these brick walls, you don't throw in the towel on something like that. Right? You allow yourself the understanding that there's more than one way to get to the finish line. And until I've tried every single option possible, not just the easiest route, because most of us as human beings, we are designed to go after the easiest route first, right? We don't want to go after the route that stretches and challenges because it's going to cost us something. It's going to cost us the dollar amount of your comfortability. And let me be real, you can never be successful in a comfortable environment. I've said this on many stages and platforms a multitude of times where I say a comfort zone to me is in comparison to a casket. And for most of us, we've had the privilege of being at a funeral. So we know what happens in the casket. We got a family member or a friend or a colleague laid out in the casket, and I've never seen them in that casket looking uncomfortable. I've never looked down and said, ooh, that casket look. Oh, they're gonna be knotted up like that. Y'all burying them like that. Like they neck look all out of place. They shoulders too high. They look like they risk them. I mean, again, they're already dead, so they gonna make a difference, right? But if you look at the casket is nice and quilted. It's comfortable. Facts about it. The more comfortable it looks, the more they charge, right? Oh, they want to the afterworld in the best of the best, $9,000 for the casket, right? Yeah. But the reason why I say a comfort zone is like a casket because a casket is only good for holding one thing. Caskets don't hold money. Caskets don't hold education. Caskets don't hold opportunity. Caskets are designed to hold dead things. The only thing you have to find inside a casket is something that is dead. And so if I'm hanging out inside the comfort zone of my life, that's the equivalent of a casket. And if I hang there too long, I may accidentally get too comfortable. And all someone has to do is shut the casket, cut the casket closed, and that's it. We can have a filter, put a scoop of dirt on top of it, and game is over. So I want to be very clear that I'm not hanging around in that comfort zone. So when I recalculate, a lot of times recalculation is so painful because it takes me out of my comfort zone, right? Yes. I got to be willing to do that because I want to stretch myself in order to grow. You will always be reinventing yourself. You will always reinvent yourself every single year because that's how you know that you're in growth mode. The way I know a tree is dead, all I gotta do is look up and see it stops producing leaves. The moment I see that tree is no longer producing leaves, it's dead. It can't do anything but be cut down. It can't hold life. It can't sustain life, right? And I always want to be in the flow and the effort of life. So I just want to make sure that the recalculation the beautiful thing is it takes me outside of my comfort zone.
Yes.
In the flow with it, right?
Woo. There we go, guys. You got it. How do we adapt? You have to recalculate. You've got to recalculate. The other thing I want you to talk about is your VSM matrix as it relates to goal achievement, because I absolutely love this. And you know that I feed on your VSM matrix and try to align my own goal setting and my own life in accordance with that.
Sure.
You've talked about that where you VSM, for those who are new, I'm going to introduce to one of Dr. Karim's global principles that he teaches all over the world. It's vision, strategy, and mentorship.
Yes.
How does this matrix tie into an effective goal setting when we think about it? How can you share with us some examples of how individuals have successfully used this matrix, or how you like to teach it? Because we want to know. Here's the thing. We're walking away today. And let me tell you guys, this is a lot. You're getting the goods. If you tune into this episode and you're listening now, I want you to go ahead, get your notebook. We're almost to the home run. And I'm still telling you, get the manual. Get the manual. Go to Amazon and you type in GPS My Success. You'll see this handsome guy and grab that copy. And he will be giving away something at the end of the show. So stay with us. But how do we use this matrix of vision, strategy, and mentorship? And also in the book, you talk about how sometimes you have to reshuffle that. So if you can go into it.
Absolutely. So the reason I love this concept so much, because I look at it like a pyramid, like a trifecta. And in order for a pyramid to stand, all three sides have to be present. You can't remove one of those sides and think it's going to be stationary. So when we talk about vision, of course, everything starts with vision. So I want to be very, very clear on what it is I want. Now, I'm going to go a little bit deeper than I normally would, but I'm going to tie some GPS philosophy principles into the VSM matrix real quickly. There's a part in GPS where we talk about clarity over confusion, meaning when I put an address inside of GPS, the GPS gives me crystal clear instructions on how to get from where I am to where I want to go. So again, using the analogy of driving from my location to downtown Cincinnati, 22, maybe 25-minute drive, depending on traffic, it's going to tell me to make a right out of my driveway. I'm going to make a right on Galbraith Road. I'm going to drive down for about 10 seconds. I'm going to turn right on a Ronald Reagan South. And I'm going to ride Ronald Reagan West. I'm going to ride Ronald Reagan West for about a good 15 minutes. I'm going to merge on the I-75 South. I'm going to ride I-75 South all the way down to exit number 4. And when I make exit number 4, boom, I'm downtown. Those instructions are so clear and so simple. Even the dumbest person can follow those instructions, right? This we ain't talking about the mapquest.com days. You got to print out all those sheets of paper and try to keep up with it in real time while you drive. The GPS is telling you turn right, turn left, get your left-hand lane, merge right. It's giving you simple instructions. Why? Because we always process clarity over confusion, right? Yes. And the reason why this is so important, because I think that one of the things we fail to talk about is the power of the subconscious mind, meaning we operate out of two halves of our mind every single day. You have the conscious mind, which is your alert mind that says, hey, brother's looking dapper. He's got on a gray suit, got a towel with some purple inside of it, got some nice ambiance going on in the background. Dr. Lisa's rocking a nice red outfit with some sexy red lipstick and some nice glasses. That's the conscious mind. The conscious mind sees everything in real time. But the real power of programming takes place in the subconscious mind.
Come on.
And the subconscious mind, it doesn't discriminate against the idea. So I want you to think about your subconscious mind like a very, very fertile field. Meaning whether you plant weed or seed, the subconscious mind's job is to make it grow. The more you hit me in repetition with it, it's going to grow that thing, and I'm going to act on that thing. So most of your buying decisions from major marketing companies, they set their ads up to target your subconscious mind, not just your conscious mind.
Come on now.
Right? Because we know the programming starts here. The more you hear a thing, the more you think about a thing, then eventually the more you act on that thing. So we know major organizations and companies run marketing campaigns for millions and billions of dollars every single year because they're basing their technique on programming your mind to believe they make the best car, they make the best snack chip, they make the best brand of beer, they're the best realtor company, they're the best stock or tech company. Then you got to understand you have the same ability to do that for yourself. You can program your own subconscious mind to get the results you want. So when it goes to setting vision for me starts in the subconscious mind. I want to program my mind with the idea of what that vision is in specificity. It can't be vague. If I want to lose weight, I can't say, man, I want to lose some weight in 2024. Because if you go to the gym for 6 months and you clean up your act, that means you ain't got no sweets, no bad carbs, you getting your gallon of water in a day, you have cut out all the nonsense, and at the end of 6 months, you get on the scale and the scale says you lost 5 pounds. I'm sure somebody gonna be pissed. Because here's the thing, the subconscious mind says you just said you want to lose weight. You didn't give me specifics over, so guess what? You lost weight. Are you happy? Are those the results you wanted? If those are not the results you wanted, you failed because you didn't specifically say, I want to lose 32 pounds. Specifically. The subconscious mind processes best in specificity, even when it comes to money. You can't just say, I want more money in 2024. Be specific about the dollar amount you want to see sitting inside your bank account by the stroke of midnight 2024. Be clear about it. Because if you say you want more money, I mean, let's be real. I'm sitting here holding a beat up $2 bill. I can give this to you $2 richer than when you met me. But I guarantee if your goal was to see more in 2024, you wanted more than $2 more in your bank account.
That's right.
So when it comes to vision, the first part of the BSM matrix, I want to be clear about the vision to specifics. I want to be down to the wire on what I want this vision to look like. And once I get clear with the vision, then I want to jump to the next portion, which is strategy. Meaning, what is the strategy I am going to apply every single day, week, month, and year until said vision produces a result? I love the idea of merging football into this. I know we got some folks out there that's football fans, and when you watch the offensive team in between plays, they go into a huddle. Not to talk about what they're going to do after the game, not to talk about, does my breath stink? No, bro, your breath smells great. That's not what's going on in the huddle. In the huddle, the quarterback is coming up with a play or a strategy that's going to move the ball a minimum of 10 yards down the field. Minimum, right? Because in a game of football, all I need is 10 yards to get a first down and keep the game in play. So you have to figure out, once you understand the vision, what's the strategy I'm going to use is going to get my ball 10 yards down the field to keep the ball in play with the first down until I get closer and closer to the end zone. With me personally, when I started my journey out, I started out with a vintage toy collection. I was actually selling vintage toys as a vintage toy dealer. And then that jumped over into real estate, and I was buying and fixing and flipping houses. And that was my 10-yard strategy every single day till I produced the vision I had for financial freedom, to walk away from the 9-to-5 job, to be able to have enough free time to go out there and speak on stages nationally, internationally. So I want to be clear about the strategy. Does the strategy make sense? And am I applying the strategy on a regular basis? And then the third part of this, we got vision, we got strategy, then we got mentorship. And amongst all those, this is a necessity, because the most valuable resource in the world, we said it earlier, is your time. Right? And every single day, everything is fighting for your time. Your job doesn't love you because you got that college degree. Don't get mad at me, right? They love you because you're willing to trade 40 hours a week of your time to get stuff done, and they compensate you based on that. Right? Don't believe me. Start showing up late. Start whittling them 40 hours down to 35 and 32 hours and watch what they do to you.
That's it.
Is it really about what degree? It's really about time. They love you because of your degree. They love you because you're willing to trade your value for time. And the real joke is, for most people, you're not getting paid what you really worth. Don't everybody come at me at once. I'm just saying, you are more valuable than what anybody can pay you right now.
Yeah.
It's a conversation for another topic, but I'm just letting you know right now, no matter what you're getting paid, your value exceeds that, right?
Yes.
But when I say mentorship, Dr. Lisa, I say it so candidly because the value of a mentor is, a mentor has been in the same trenches I want to get into. They fought the same battles, the same wars. They've had the victories. They know the strategies. They understand the vision. And more important than knowing the vision and the strategies, they have been through the battle and took losses on that battlefield. They've got battle scars from where they got the scars. Yeah, financial scars, mental scars, relationship scars, partnership scars. They've got the scar. And believe it or not, I will learn more from your losses, your defeats, and your setbacks than your victories. Because if I'm going down the same pathway you're going, I'm going to encounter some of the same hurdles, demons, and dragons you had to face off. So if you see what you know, so I ain't got to spend 40 years in my own proverbial wilderness to figure it out. Oh, that's a blessing in disguise, right? So I want to make sure that I find the right mentor, not someone who's just successful, not someone who's got money, not someone who's posting on social media on the IG reel. I want to know you have made success doing the very thing I want to do. If I want to speak, I want to know, have you been there and done that? If I want to put it out, I want to know if you've been there, done that. If I want to make money in stocks, in crypto, I want to know, have you made it that way? Otherwise, you can't really teach me how to master that particular skill set. Nope. So if you focus on those three things, I think that the masses of folks listening to this message today, they 2024 is going to knock on the door saying, hey, did you order more? Someone told me to DoorDash you more. we here. Right? Boom. Covered. Right? Yeah, they're gonna get they more in 2020.
Woo! Listen, this is why I absolutely love it. And the thing you said that stands out, the only real shortcut you're gonna get to achieving your goals is that mentor. Yes. And you said that the mentor, you can learn more from them, from their struggles, than their actual wins. And honestly, that's why we say there's a shortcut, right, Dr. Karim? Because once you listen, your mentor knows all the details, and they will share their shortfalls. So you don't have to do it. That is what saves your time, because we said earlier in the podcast, you reminded us that the most valuable resource we have is time. We're going to come right back after these messages to learn from Dr. Karim about his work as a mentor. We'll be right back. We're back with Dr. Karim R. Ellis. Let me tell you something. His impact exceeds beyond speeches and training sessions with publications all over the world, as we spoke about. But his work as a humanitarian and a collaborator has brought him to a place where he was able to collaborate with his dear friend, Mr. Les Brown, on a transformative program during the challenging times of 2021, giving away thousands of copies of his book. But here's the thing. He's also a founding member and partner of the John Maxwell team. But behind these accolades is this humble human being who, again, we talked about him going from homeless and bankrupt and directionless to one where he is a top performer in everything he does in life. He lives and talks about his debt-free lifestyle. He talks about how he was able to strategically leave his 9-to-5 and walk out his vision, as he put the GPS into the address into his GPS, that here, if it was Siri, I'm going and I'm speaking. I'm taking all the stages across the globe. He's recruited the right mentors. He's also dedicated to empowering lives everywhere around the world. He sits as an executive member of the International Institute of Influencer. He's an advisor and patron to Save the Girl Child Advocacy Africa and Nigeria. He's also committed to creating opportunities for individuals to win in their lives, regardless of their starting point. And this is why he exemplifies, and he is the most dedicated individual to tell us how exactly we GPS our way to more in 2024. Dr. Karim, here's the question I have for you, and I'm pretty sure everyone's asking. You do have your own GPS Speakers Academy, and I'll tell you why this is so important. And here, guys, on this podcast, we don't do scripted episodes. We don't do. So Dr. Karim doesn't even know what I'm asking him. And can I tell you, I might have an idea of what I'm going to ask him, but we want this. When you listen to us here, you're listening to friends that I want you to look at us as mentors. So Dr. Karim, a lot of individuals who listen to this podcast and who listen to me and see my work, I get asked all the time, I want to learn how to speak. 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 And the only thing I could tell them is, don't ask me. I do a fine job, but I am not certified to be able to teach you how to speak. Here's what I'm asking you, because in your academy, which I am a proud GPS speaking assassin, you don't only teach us how to truly take our story and make it matter in the lives of others, that they would look at us as mentors through our speaking and our training abilities. But you also teach us how to set up a full business where we can actually monetize, not just for ourselves and our families, but to do some of the work like what I talked about that you do and I do around the globe. Because you see, he just mentioned that you want to make sure that your address and where you're going is bigger than you. So yes, we all have purpose, but make sure it's bigger than you. Dr. Karim, what would you tell us if I'm an aspiring speaker and we're using the GPS and we want more in 2024 and we want to get the right mentorship? What are some of the things we should be thinking about and looking for as aspiring speakers, or just people who have to speak because we want to create impact in the world?
So that's a loaded question. I know we
got it is. I know.
that down, slinky.
Yes.
So what I would say is this: I would say that if I know I want to speak, number one, I want to be clear about my message. Meaning, what am I supposed to give to the world? I know this is audio for some folks, and some folks see this visual, but I'm holding my giant prescription bottle, right? And the reason why this is so important, because if I'm a doctor and you walk into my office, I'm not going to just write a prescription and then start giving you pills out of it, medication out of it. I first got to understand what brought you in. So that means I'm going to ask defining questions. You're going to let me know what's going on. So you may say, hey, doc, the reason why I'm here, my lymph nodes have been hurting real bad for the last week and a half. Like when I swallow, it's painful, it stings a little bit. I got knots right underneath both of my back of my jaw lines. My gums are bleeding a little bit. I've been having some headaches on and off. I'm lethargic, don't feel like eating anything. And based on the symptoms, because let's be real, doctors don't treat symptoms. We treat the core problem, right?
Yes.
I'm listening to the symptoms you're describing, and based on the symptoms, I'm trying to figure out what is the core problem that produced those symptoms. If you're telling me you got a headache, I can give you aspirin, and those symptoms will disappear for all about 4 to 6 hours. But then what happens is the symptoms return, because I'll give you something to treat the symptom, not the problem. As a speaker, my message is designed to treat a problem, not the symptoms. Right?
Come on.
Someone's coming to me saying, man, my money is tight. I have more month than money. I'm robbing for Peter to pay Paul with a check cash in place. My job ain't paying me enough money. You're giving me symptoms, but the core problem may be how you're spending your time when it comes to your gift and talent and what you're actually worth versus what you're settling for. Right? Yes. That made me a mindset pivot, mindset disruptor of what am I doing to use my gift and talent to get paid versus what I've been settling for. So as a speaker, I think number one, we got to get clear on your message, meaning what is the core message people need to hear from you, meaning what problem does it solve and what symptoms are attached to it, so you have an idea who my message is supposed to be designed for. So that's the first thing I say. I got to get clear about it. And then number two, in the speaking industry, it boils down to pretty simplistic stuff. You're either going to be a corporate speaker, and when I say corporate, I'm including colleges in there, I'm including high schools in there, anything that's more of a structured facility, I'm including in there, or I'm going to be a seminar speaker. And the difference for those of you that have no idea what it is, corporate is where an organization will say, hey, doc, I want you to come out, speak to our group for 90 minutes. Our budget is $15,000. Can you come out? We'll pay for your flight, pay for your hotel. I go out there, I rock the room real good, real hard. I leave them with some breakthrough messages, and then I take off with the check. Right? On the opposite end, on a seminar style, that's the big event where they put tickets all over social media. They put tickets on billboards, tickets on the radio, and a bunch of folks all show up on a Saturday, maybe a 2-day seminar. But if I'm that type of speaker, my message still has to permeate that particular audience and tribe. But I also want to know, how do I get paid in that type of event? Because most seminar events, they're not going to pay you. Most seminar events, you need to have a book or a coaching program, preferably a coaching program, and then work your magic there. If you got a coaching program that's a $500 coaching program, or a higher level of $5,000, $10,000, or even $20,000 coaching program, that's the arena you would take that into. But everything starts with knowing my core message, and I got to make sure my message is something the world wants to hear.
The world wants to hear. Yes.
Yeah, most people want to talk about something. I go, well, who asked you to solve that problem? Like, if you want to get there and talk about the effect of toe jam in your life on a Tuesday night, who asked you to solve that problem? Right?
No one wants to.
There has to be a better message you can talk about. So when I talk about a message, I'm also talking about your expertise. That's what you've gone through, what you lived through, what you survived. Whereas Dr. Alisa knows, we talk about being snake bitten. meaning when life as a poisonous viper strikes you and injects venom inside of you, right? In the real case scenario, your job is to get to a hospital immediately, because every second that's delayed, that means your life is getting closer and closer to being forfeit. However, once you get into that ER physician is going to ask you two things. That doctor's going to say, number one, why are you here? Well, I got bit. Number two, what snake bit you? Because in order to save your life, we got to know the snake you got bit by, because that's how we make anti-venom. It's a mixture of the original host venom mixed with antibodies, which gives us anti-venom. And we can't give you the wrong anti-venom. The wrong anti-venom will take your life. So if you got Black Mamba, I can't give you King Cobra, right? I can't get you Pit Viper, right? Because I give you the wrong one, it'll kill you. The reason why I'm using this analogy, because most of the folks who want to jump into the speaking arena, you've been bit through life situation circumstances. Some of you've been bit through homelessness. Some of you've been bit through bankruptcy and foreclosure. Some of you've been bit through toxic, narcissistic relationships, or dealt with divorce, or dealt with death. Some of you rebounded back from substance abuse, whether it was alcohol or whether it was a drug of choice. There are so many things out there you've been bitten by. The question is, can I identify what I have survived and become an expert at? And when I shift positions to get on the other side of the stage, I now become living, breathing, walking, talking anti-venom, which means my message now saves other people that's been bit by the same snake.
Whew, that's it. And so inside, he's giving you way more. He's already poured a lot of more into building that brand. For those friends who reach out for me from all of the world, you can definitely connect with Dr. Karim. We'll be talking some more about that. The next question I have for you, Dr. Karim, on the show, I always want to talk about how the guest has been able to flip the script. We'll be right back after these messages so we can talk to Dr. Karim about flipping the script of his mindset. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right, we are back and we're talking to Dr. Karim R. Ellis, the #1 breakthrough strategist. He just went into a little bit for my friends listening across the globe about speaking success. And you know that he's definitely figured out the anti-venom. I've told you over and over again, he's living proof of his work. And as one of his mentees and students, I continue to be a part of his speaking academy. Go to gpsspeakersacademy.com and connect with him there on that. But the question that we always want to know, our audience are sure they're excited. Dr. Alisa, Mindset Mastery Moments. We are going to have a segment starting with Dr. Karim. It's called Flip the Script, where we want to know, Dr. Karim, how can you share with us a strategic moment in your life when you had to flip the script in your mindset, and it was hard for you to do, but you did it anyway, and you succeeded because of that flip in your mindset?
Wow. So off the top of my head, I'm thinking about the transition from speaking in the real estate world over into the professional space, the corporate S space. And I think the biggest problem for me was, and this is what happens with most of us, we focus on, there's a concept I talk about, how versus why. And most of us focus so intently on the how to, and the thing that's really important is the reason why, right? Yeah. The whole time I kept thinking, well, I know entrepreneurship, I know real estate, I can teach how to flip a house in and out, upside down, eyes closed. I don't need a diagram, I don't need a whiteboard. I know this, I live this, I've been doing real estate all this time. And so when God gave me the command to say, I'm going to pivot you, because let's be real, when you have a gift and talent, and there's a multitude of gifts and talents out there. Communication is one of my gifts and talents. That gift and talent can be used in a multitude of arenas. The problem with most of us, we keep associating our gift with one arena. And so we stick in those arenas longer than we're supposed to, or what I call the expiration date. Why do I call it expiration date? Because right now in my kitchen, I got a bunch of canned goods in there that, unfortunately, don't judge me, they're past the expiration date, which means I can no longer use them. I can't open them. I can't eat them. I can't give them away to the Goodwill or a food bank. I can't do anything with them but throw them away. And so what we have to understand, there are some seasons of our life that we have an expiration date attached to it, which means we want to shift into that next level before the expiration date arrives. We can't do anything with our gift at that point. And so that was one of my biggest transitions, was how do I go from speaking to rooms of 200 people about how to make money in real estate to speaking to rooms of 10,000 people when it comes to breakthrough success, leadership concepts, and things like that, right? So what I understand the value and the flexibility of the gift. Meaning, as a speaker, I can talk about anything, but there had to be a mindset shift. And so one of the quickest way to do a mindset shift is based on who you hang with. Jim Rohn says your life a mirror that is you hang with the most. The problem I had in that situation was I wasn't hanging with other speakers in that arena. Right? It's so far-fetched to go out there and say my fee at that point is going to be $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000. It seems so far-fetched because in the real estate world, you don't get paid. Speaking of real estate world, you get paid off your coaching programs and things you have in the back of the room. If you're teaching wholesale or short sale, that's how you get paid. So it was a total different transition. But the transition came about easier and faster by setting the vision, getting clear about where I'm going to, right? And then strategically figuring out what I'm going to do to get the vision off the ground. And while I was looking for a mentor, because I didn't have one just yet, I started to submerge myself in the world of that reality even before it was a reality to me. So I started hanging around other people that were already speaking in the corporate place and space. The more I work with them, the more I desire to do what they do, right? You don't hit spot on. He said your life mirrors that of the 5 people. So if you're struggling right now and you're trying to do a mindset shift where you're trying to go from doing things a certain way to doing them a new way, one of the quickest things I would do is say, get clear on the vision. Find 3 people that you know what's doing, and you don't have to know them personally. You can find them on social media. All you need is the tangible proof to tell your mind it can be done because I'm seeing somebody do it. Right? It's not like Bigfoot, where I don't know. I've never seen it myself. It look a little grainy, but it ain't like the Loch Ness monster. I don't know if Nessie exists or not. It's something in the water, but I can't tell. Find 3 people minimum that show tangible proof it can be done. If I can find those 3, then I know there's a way. And now what happens, I stop focusing on the how-to and I focus on the why. Most of on the how. And so while I was wrapped in the realm of how do I do this, I didn't have the answers. I didn't have the answer. As Kanye said back in the day, I ain't got the answers, Sway. How do I transition over to this side of the fence and be successful? The longer I focus on the how-to that I didn't have, the more I shut myself down. It's the going to school back in the day and the teacher says, who wants to come up here and solve this algebra problem? And if I don't know how to do the parentheses and all the other stuff, I'm not going to raise my hand because I'm focused on the how-to. The moment I switch from how-to thinking to why thinking, Mrs. Why is it so important for me to solve this math problem? Because what if the teacher says, I'm buying McDonald's for whoever solves this for the next 2 months? For lunch, we got to start on the reason why. I ain't going to eat school pizza? Oh, we good. And that's the big thing. What I had to do was focus on why. Why is it so important? Because you got a little girl, you want to make sure that you're able to leave a legacy for her. You want to be able to free up your time so you can create breakthrough success for millions of people around. Right? There's so many reasons why, but when you're focused on yourself and being selfish, you'll miss that mark. You'll miss it every single time. So what I've learned now is not to focus on the how. The how-to is not the most important thing, because if I don't know the dance steps, I'll shut myself down and tell myself I gotta skip until it shows up. I want to focus on the reason why. If I have a why, it'll supersede and surpass any how. So in 2024, if you really say you want more, what's the why behind what you want? And focus on that. Usually the why has an emotional response. And we know manifestation, if I can attach emotional energy to what I'm trying to manifest, it manifests quicker and faster. This I ain't talking nothing new. Y'all know the most marketing taps into your emotions. You deserve it. Treat yourself now. You work hard. Don't you work hard? Like this emotional buying decision and to tap into your emotion. And before you know it, you walking out with a $5,000 big screen trying to sneak it up. But I worked hard, baby. I deserve this. Yeah, the deserves it too.
Exactly. Ooh, wow. You all heard it. He said that he had to change who he hung around with when he flipped the script and he had to make that adjustment to step into his new career. So yes, I think, Dr. Queen, can we say that there are times you will arrive at a certain destination and you would have to input a new destination in the GPS?
Absolutely. You're always in a state of recreation, because once you hit a goal, there's another address that goes into the destination afterwards. So even when I started doing this, right, I went from real estate over to corporate. And then the address shifted. What was the address shift? The address shift that I want bigger organizations with logos that are known on face value. Because, you start out, you get those small mom and pop companies that no one knows about, right? They don't even have a logo. But then you start hitting the General Electrics and the Fords and the United States Postal Service and the big name companies, the Procter & Gamble's, the Johnson & Johnson. And then once you hit that, then you start thinking about the pay rates, right? How much is my message actually worth? So you'll always be reinventing yourself and putting a different address in the GPS. right?
That's
It
right.
doesn't stop once you arrive. The journey actually begins because now you get to do it all over again, but strive and stretch to go farther, faster, and well beyond where you were when you first decided to take the journey in the first place.
Whew. You guys heard it. That's also in the Lively Manual, guys. Chapter 3. And so let me say this to you all. What Dr. Karim just said is so important. He said that you have to shift your mindset into a place where you understand you've arrived at. And he said that after that tree, you can tell there's no more leaves. You don't have to wait around. The signs are already there that you need a new address. But here's the point I want to push here, because we talk about purpose a lot. And that's a big part of my work, Dr. Karim. Sure. And what a lot of people get tied up with is that purpose is really the big why. And I don't want to say only the big why. It's very important for you to be clear on your why. But here's the thing with Dr. Karim just saying that you're going to have to put that reinventing yourself and getting. So he talked about recalculating, but this is not recalculating. This is putting a new address because who is living in the same house they grew up in? Not very many of us, unless you were born in a mansion, right, Dr. Karim? Yeah. So we always want a bigger house. We always want a nicer car. So your goals and dreams need to grow up too, right?
Yeah, if I could throw something in real quick to make it real simplistic, the current version of you is not qualified to get you to your finish line.
Come on.
Some people don't want to hear that. The current version of you right now is not qualified and equipped to get you to your finish line. It's in the journey that the transformation takes place into who you need to be to not only arrive, but to hold on to what you've been going after. Because if the current version of you walks into the very thing you've been asking God for, there is a 99.9% chance you'll lose it. Why? Because if it's bigger than you and supposed to bless other people, let's be clear spiritually, the enemy's not going to let you hold on to it in the first place without a fight. There's no way in the world. In a game of football, the person you hit on the field the hardest is the person holding the ball. And baby, whether you know it or not, in 2024, you are the quarterback. You are calling the plays. So when they try to blitz through the line of scrimmage, and baby, yeah, there's going to be some blitzes in 2024. They're going to break through that line of scrimmage. They're going to try to hit you as hard as they possibly can, not just to stop the play, but to take you out. To put you on the injury list, put you out for the season. So I got to be prepared also mentally to take the hits. Most of us walking into 2024 with no idea what's going to happen in February, what's going to happen in April, what's going to happen in June, what's peeking out the corner in August waiting on me, right? What's waiting for us December 29th before you think you about to celebrate the ball drop on December 31st? Like we have no idea, but it's out there waiting. So I want to do the mental preparation, understanding it's not about getting hit. It's about getting back up after getting hit. And more importantly, being able to take the hit. But I got to be ready for it. But the version of you are right now, you're not qualified and equipped to make it to that finish line. And if you make it by happenstance, you won't hold on to because you cannot surpass your current level of thinking. You never do it. Part of the journey is what gives you the growth that gets you equipped to not only reach your finish line, but to maintain it and hold on to it so can't nobody take it from you.
Wow. Dr. Karim, this brings me to one of the things that you did in the book really quick. You played with the acronym from Global Positioning System. Everybody, if you don't know, that's what GPS standardly stands for, right? And he talks about all what he knows and says he doesn't know a lot about it. But he played with the acronym from Global Positioning System to God Positioning System.
Come on now.
And if y'all gonna get a little hurt and you get your feelings hurt here, we are body, mind, and soul. And we are a soul in a body and not the other way around. Let's let Dr. Whyte tell you where she come from on her podcast. And we're going here with Dr. Ellis. You spoke about that God positioning system. Can you tell us how we can GPS our spiritual life?
This
where you just took us.
This may hurt some people's feelings in 2024. I may lose some followers off of this. Because I'm coming through stepping on pinky toes right now, right? So
let's go. Y'all better cover your toes right now. We're ready. Go in, Doctor.
Yeah, so we know Global Positioning System is the acronym for what GPS technology is, but I also believe in GPS being the God positioning system. And the way this came about, because you guys understand how GPS technology works, you don't have to be a scientific whiz kid to figure this out. A GPS works on a strong Wi-Fi signal. So if I put an address in the GPS, that GPS looks for a local cell phone tower. That tower finds a satellite in outer space. And as long as that trifecta connection's going on, that GPS will take me anywhere I want to go. As long as I got that strong Wi-Fi signal. That's the key. Because the opposite of being connected is being in a dead zone. And we know about dead zones. There are some places in Cincinnati, Ohio, if I go to the bottom of this hill, I'm going to lose my signal. Right? If I go behind this large building, I'm gonna lose my signal. And the danger is the GPS still works, but it's not connected. So that means in that moment, I'm literally driving blind. So my destination, my turnoff could be literally 10 feet away, but because I don't have a signal and I can't longer get instructions, I could go flying right past my exit unintentionally because I'm no longer connected to the signal from the GPS. And so when I talk about a signal on the God position and purpose of it, we're talking about the idea of what is my purpose? What have I been put here for, right? You've been put here. Surely you don't think you've been put here just to bust your tail working for somebody for 40 hours a week until the retirement age of 65. No, let me take it back. 70, because the way we going right now, most folks, the retirement age is so it might be 72, right? I got a firm belief that when I was put here, God put me here intentionally, not accidentally, with a specific purpose. And the way I know that, I got to take a look at my God-given gifts and talents. Those gifts and talents are the things that's been given to me to help me walk out my assigned purpose. Now, if I'm not aware of my purpose, my gifts and talents can double over. I could crush it in my corporate job, or I can crush it in any arena with my gift and talent, not being aware of what the gift and talent was actually given to me for. In other words, I don't believe God is going to give you a divine assignment and not give you the tools and the resources to pull that thing off. So I want to be clear about that going into it. But there have been seasons of my life, and some of you will resonate with this, where you have gone through setbacks, challenges, storms that you didn't even know was going to manifest in your life. And in that moment, you lost your GPS signal. You weren't riding with full bar coverage. You looked at the bars went from 5 bars to 3 bars to 2 bars to 1 bar. And in that moment, you were literally navigating your life blind. Easy to get lost, easy to get stuck, easy to get pulled into someone else's agenda. In that moment, when I realize I'm not getting results, or I feel like I'm off track, my job is to get back into a place of alignment where I get that signal back. So for most of us in the Christian space or the religious space, we understand, man, that's all about communication. That's all about having a relationship with God Almighty, right? It can't be simple. I'm only going to God when I've got my back up against the wall, when I'm in a pickle or in a jam. I have to have that constant communication going on, because that ensures I got a strong Wi-Fi signal. Facts about it, I will know when I'm getting out of alignment with that signal. If I got a strong enough connection relationship, there are certain things that should no longer appeal towards me. I know hanging out with this group, I'm gonna lose my signal hanging out with them. I shouldn't be hanging out with them this week, right? I know if I go into this arena, I can't get no signal in there. So if I go into this arena this weekend and hang out with these folks, I'm gonna get in trouble, because I'm gonna lose my signal. I can't be connected to God. So the beautiful thing is, you may not know where the dead zones are in your life, but when you have that strong Wi-Fi signal, you have that constant communication going on, it's easy for you to identify dead spots and prepare before you get there, or more importantly, understand I'm in a place I can't get no signal, right? And so it's my job to leave that space as quickly as possible and get back into position and alignment for my divine assignment, which means now I'm in a place where I got a strong Wi-Fi signal. And that's all about staying in connection and having a relationship. And I'm not talking relationship when my back's up against the wall. I ain't talking relationship. I need a favor, guy. Because let's be real, a lot of us go running that way when we ain't got the money for the rent, when the car has an unexpected breakdown, right? When things go wrong, when a health scare comes back on the test. Oh my God. And I'll let y'all interpret what the health scare is. I ain't trying to read nobody that writes this week, right? But if I have a relationship, there's always that strong signal.
That's
the way I've navigated 20 years of success because I hit relationship. I'm not gonna say there's moments where I didn't fall into the dead zone. There's been moments I hit my dead zone spots, right? Yeah. But I had the mental fortitude to know when I was getting my butt whooped. Right. And I started looking for that signal. Can you hear me now? I get looking for that. Hey, it's tough over here in these streets. I need that signal. Give me the bars back. I know from where my protection and my wealth comes from, right? Yes. Yeah, we talk about the God positioning system. It's about that relationship that I have that gives me deeper understanding, gives me instructions. Everything I've done, I will never take credit for it. There's no one out there who can take credit for my success. I give it all to God, because God said, go start this toy business. I had people, toy business. You're going to be selling vintage toys to people, right? When I said I was going to jump over to the world of real estate, you don't know nobody. That's a scam. Nobody makes money in real estate, right? Every time my steps were ordered, they were only ordered because I had a strong Wi-Fi signal.
That Wi-Fi signal connected to the GPS, the God positioning system, is what he accredits his full navigation system. And I'm telling you, listen, I don't have to say anything else. And that leads me to my final question for Dr. Karim before I let him take it away and close us out. Dr. Karim, everyone on the show is going to answer this. You have told us a lot, but we're just going to play dumb and act like we didn't hear what you just said. What is you just told us you went through moving from corporate world and working and training as a corporate trainer and all different specialties you did in the corporate arena. But then you moved into having your toy business, and you were very successful with that. You were very successful with real estate, and you created a debt-free lifestyle that facilitates your dream of where you're able to travel the world week after week, to be on stages and in corporations that we know from huge corporations like G and all of that. You've also created a debt lifestyle. We would say that's what success looks like for many of us. That's what we aim, right? But what do you define as success? Because, hey, this is where we talk in this show. We talk about your mindset is the key to your success. But what would you define as success for you?
Really, really great question. And it's heartfelt, because I was lost in the sauce for a long time on this. We don't realize how much, especially with the interference, and I say interference of social media, how that affects the progress of what we think success is. So it's a part was having the luxury car, the supercar, right? The sports car. There's a part where I thought living.
But you have two beautiful Porsches.
Yeah, I do, but
where you have two beautiful Porsches that you don't owe anyone for.
Yeah, but we're gonna loop that back in on why that's important, right? So first I thought it was the vehicles, then I thought it was the lifestyle, I thought the way I was dressed, I thought getting the weight off and getting a nice, sexy physique. I thought all these things was success. I thought success was the person you had on your arm. You gotta look like eye candy, go off on the road. Don't make that mistake. Do not pick somebody based on them being eye candy. I promise you, your life will get a cavity, and you'll end up losing some teeth.
Never mind. Some of us do promise I can.
Don't pick them the wrong way. That's all I'm getting at, right? So there's a lot of things I thought success actually was, and what would happen is I would hit these benchmarks, I would feel unfulfilled. I say, I got it. Why do I still feel empty? Boom, I got it. Why do I feel so empty? They paid me $10,000 to speak for 1 hour. No job that I've ever worked for has paid me $10,000 for 1 hour of my time. Boom, I got it. Why do I still not feel happy? What I come to realize is success to me now is being able to walk in your God-assigned purpose, meaning the reason why I put you here on the planet. I tell people the 3 most important days of your life is the day you're born, because that's when you bless us with your presence. Day number 2 is when you figure out the reason why, which is your God purpose, right? The whole reason why you're here is not to make a whole lot of money. It's not to go out here and date, super fly people. It's not to be able to jet set all over the world. It's not to buy super fast cars and super big houses and lifestyle, stuff like that. Those are the trappings of success. Those are the remnants of success. They may be the fruit on the tree of success, but the goal is to get the seed planted and walk out the very thing you've been put here and assigned to do. So day number 2, the most important day of your life, is when you figure out the reason why you've been put here. But then the 3rd most important day of your life is when you have the mental courage and tenacity to chase that thing out. And for most of us, when we figure out what our purpose actually is, our purpose will typically contradict what we believe we're qualified and capable to do. Even in the book of life, Moses argued with God at the burning bush over his purpose. Your whole purpose was to lead them out of bondage to the promised land. And he argued over it, right? So that means God instinctively put you inside Egypt's household, so you understand the trappings of Egyptians, right? You knew how the Egyptian system worked, how the legal system worked. You knew how to read and write Egyptian, right? You knew all that. You was born from slavery, but you got put into the right household. That was not accidental, that was intentional. Then you left that haven of paradise out to the wilderness, because again, there's transformation in the journey, and that was what puts you into preparation to come back and lead them from where they are to where they're supposed to be. Everything in your life that has happened to you, no matter how bad it may feel or may sound, it's not an accident, it's intentional. It's all done with the job of developing you to help you walk out the one thing that's important to God, which is your purpose. I'm not worried about your money unless your money is tied into what your purpose is, right?
Yes.
So I figured out what my purpose is. Then when I talked earlier about the idea of resources, now I understand the resources they're given to me to help me walk my purpose out. Now, if I do this thing the right way, I still get the benefit of the wealth and the travel and the happiness and all those other things that people keep making a purpose. No, that's a byproduct of it, right?
Yes.
If I plant an apple seed in my backyard right now, and for the next 2-3 years, I water it, I maintain it, I nurture it, I keep all the weeds away from it, I keep deers from eating it, eventually it's going to produce fruit.
Exactly.
Too much fruit for me to eat. If that apple tree got overrun, I ain't that much of an apple lover. I ain't going to eat 100 apples, but I can share those apples with other people that are hungry. And I get the benefit of being able to enjoy an apple or two myself.
Yeah.
That's what walking in the purpose looks like. When I walk in purpose, I get to bless other people with the fruit of my journey, but I also get to take an apple or two and enjoy it my daggone self, right?
There you go.
I learned how to make a lot of stuff with apples: applesauce, apple pie, apple cider, right? Yeah, you can make a lot of stuff with apples. Apples will go a long way this day and age.
Apple chips, apple fries.
A lot of stuff. But we want to be clear because most of us aren't chasing purpose, and that's why many of us have hit a stagnant block. Purpose. If you put your purpose first and start to look at everything around you, say, how does this help me walk into my purpose quicker and faster? You will not only see your life do a 360, you'll not only start to see happiness in your life that you've never seen before. Now you're walking in alignment for your divine assignment, but the way and the magnitude at how you're able to bless other people goes up tremendously.
That's right. Absolutely. I like to say the push of pain and the pull of possibility is all worthwhile when you're walking in your purpose. I am never a dull moment, no matter what the hardship is. It's like they said, you need to be in the hospital this week. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I got a podcast. I got a show. I got a book. I got a course. I got a meeting. What are y'all talking about? But I do know I have to sit back. But when your life is so filled, it's like, you're like, okay, what do we need to do so I can get over this roadblock?
Sure.
Because my GPS navigation system is saying recalculating. So Dr. Karim, I am going to give you the microphone to give us your last words for this episode, because there's no way you're not coming back on Mindset Mastery Moments. If you can give us a last few words on how we can surely make that mindset shift so we can GPS our way to more in 2024, the microphone is all yours, Dr. Karim.
Absolutely. I'm believing if you are here and you are still listening to this or watching this, it is solely because you are dissatisfied with your standpoint in the key of life. And I'm here to say that you can absolutely have more in 2024. The first thing I need you to do is I need you to get crystal clear about your vision. Whatever you're going after, whatever you put inside your life's GPS, understand the address you input in your life's GPS will always determine the destination. So I want to be clear about where I'm going, because where I'm going will dictate what I do with the resources that God has blessed me with in this season of the journey, the money, the time, the education, the connections, the relationships, and most importantly, my God-given gift and talent. I will know how to maximize that thing to its most powerful ability when I do one thing right, which is set the address. Number two, I want you to move with clarity over confusion. I talked briefly about how you put an address in the GPS and it gives you crystal clear instructions, right? Whatever you're going after, I want you to be clear. I want you to program your subconscious mind with clarity down, with specificity on what it is you want, so your mind will jump on autopilot and seize opportunities to go out and grab what it is you're looking for. The third thing I'm going to encourage you to do in 2024 is I want you to make the right connections and dodge the dead zones. We had some humor with it a little bit earlier. We know GPS works on that connectability. How strong is your Wi-Fi signal in 2024? Are you connected to the right coaches, the right mentors, the right organizations, the right individuals? Or are you walking around hanging out in dead zones where you are losing your way because you've lost your signal? And that dead zone could be the job that's not servicing you, could be the disrupted mindset, the peers, the organizations you belong to, or even a lack of the right education. So we want to make sure we're properly connected in 2024. The fourth thing I want you to think about is be able to recalculate, meaning there's always more than one way to get to a finish line. Bruce Lee said it best. He said, be formless like water. If I take water and pour water into a cup, it takes on the form of a cup. If I pour water down the side of a mountain, it'll pick the quickest, fastest, easiest way to get to the finish line. So don't be so locked in stone on the way you start your journey, because a lot can happen between the start and the finish. Just be applicable enough in the journey that you will be willing to bend as needed to make it to your fantastic finish line. And then last but not least, we didn't really talk about it, but I want to encourage you to check the history log. In every GPS, I can go to the history log and it'll pull up in real time every address that you have put into that GPS since ownership of it. So if I want to know where you've been spending the majority of your time, I ain't even got to ask you. All I got to do is say, hey, let me take a look at your GPS. Let me look at the history log. It's going to show me everywhere you've been spending your time at. Why is that important? Because where your energy goes, your focus flows. Where your energy goes, your focus flows. And I want to be sure in 2024, because we both told ourselves we want more in 2024. I want to make sure you're not spending a majority of 2024 chasing other people's addresses and getting other people's results. I don't want you to cheat on your goals and dreams anymore by chasing everything that has nothing to do with where you're supposed to be at for your divine assignment and your powerful purpose. I want you to be clear about the addresses. Why? Because your past tells me how we made it to your present. Your past tells me how we made it to your present. But if you keep doing the things in the past, your present is a predictor of your future. And if you don't want more of what you got in 2023, if you really want more in 2024, we got to go with a new mindset, a new imagination, a reinvigorated pathway. We want to unlock the 2.0 version of ourselves. I firmly believe if you take just these 5 core principles and you spend some time picking up the book is going to give you additional value. I think in 2024, you will have no problem hearing these powerful words. Wait, that wasn't how it's supposed to work. The word's supposed to come out. Let's try that one more time.
You have arrived at your destination.
That's what I'm talking about. See, even when Murphy's Law tries to show up, Murphy ain't got nothing on me. I send Murphy back with a black eye. I ain't got time to play that. Let me give it one more time. You'll have no problem hearing these powerful words.
You have arrived at your destination.
And that's what it's all about. Getting more in 2024. GPSing your way to success.
Can I just drop my microphone? If I do that, it's going to mess up the studio. Dr. Karim, absolutely. We are blown. We are grateful. This is probably going to be a 2-part episode. So wherever you're coming at, if you're coming into the second episode, you're the one before this. We don't know what's going to happen when they edit it, but all of it is good. You literally got an overview of what I call a goal setting manual. And here's the thing, it's not goal setting because I'm over and weary. A goal achieving, success achieving manual by Dr. Karim. Dr. Karim, just tell us how to connect with you. And you have a bit of a special gift for a few of our listening audience that they might want to jump on. So tell us how to connect with you.
Absolutely. So right now I'm literally everywhere on social media. So I'm on Instagram, on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. If you just type in Dr. Karim R. Ellis, and of course the name is up here, so you can't mess that up. I know people, they butcher Kareem. I've been called Kareem, Karm. No, it's Kareem. The most important language in the English, in English vocabulary is a person's name. You don't want to mess that up. I'm just playing with you guys, right? Yeah, so if you do just a Google search, you pop me up. If you're looking to bring me out and book me, you can go directly to my website, which is KareemEllis.com, KareemEllis.com. And for those of you that's interested in reaching out because you're thinking about jumping into the speaker industry, you're saying, hey, I want to learn how to take my message and take it out there, and you're looking for the right mentor who's been doing this for 20 years. I know I look young, but it has been 20 long, hard years in the trenches, a multitude of stages, both nationally and internationally. I'm your guy. I also got 2 TEDx's under my belt, so I'm your guy. So you can reach out to me for that as well. And then for those of you that have hung with us to the end, you said, man, I just need more value. This is what I'm going to recommend. Right now, there's a QR code that popped up. If you go to my Instagram and say, hey, Doc, I heard you on Mindset Mastery with Dr. Alisa Whyte. That's all you got to do. Go to my Instagram. Do the QR code and go to Karim Ellis 2.0 on Instagram. Let me know that you tuned in to this powerful podcast and you got fed some value and some nuggets and some wisdom, some gems today. My team is going to make sure we give you a free copy of GPS My Success. I know the blue screen ain't doing, the green screen ain't doing right with me. GPS My Success. And here's the catch though. I'm only going to offer it to the first 20 people. After 20, we cut it off. So don't come to me. I was out of town. Podcast. Too late. life favors those that take advantage of opportunity. When opportunity presents itself, your job is to move.
You move.
First 20, and we're going to cut it off at 20. If you say, hey, I heard you on Mindset Mastery Moments with Dr. Alisa Whyte, follow me on Instagram. Let me know where you heard me at. My team will get an ebook copy of this over to you. It's revolutionary to change your life. It's a bestseller. One of my personal mentors has done the foreword for it. A guy you may know by the name of Mr. Les Brown or Dr. Les Brown at this point in time. Yeah, he's on the back of the book too. Yeah, so if you just let me know that you saw this on this podcast, we got you. We're going to help you make your way to more in 2024. I guarantee it.
Thank you, Dr. Karim. And let me tell you, all throughout the book, you are absolutely doing work. Guys, this is why I love this book. Became one of my favorites in 2021, and I'm still reading it and this is my special copy. The hardcover doesn't get written on, so don't judge. My ebook and on the tablet, it's got notes everywhere and stickies because I'm a virtual person. I like to keep things simple. Get your copy, scan the QR code one more time, follow Dr. Karim, follow him, bum rush him, and stay in tune with what he's got coming up in his career and in his work as a global, prolific thought leader. We're so blessed and honored to have you, ladies and gentlemen, disruptors. We have come to the end of a show that I didn't want to end, but for you it does. My show doesn't end because I said he's my coach, my mentor, and he's so much. I'm so blessed to call him my friend, and we get to work and journey in a lot of areas of life together. Dr. Karim, thank you for being here. And remember, he gives you the last bit. You can watch this over and over again on the YouTube channel, and you can plug in and listen because I'm sure there's some nuggets that you're going to need to listen. Dr. Karim, thank you so much for being on Mindset Mastery Moments with Dr. Alisa, your friend. And we will see you on the next episode because you got to come back and give us more. You got to give us a tune-up. To make sure you got an address. Bye, everyone. Love, life, peace, and blessing. And we're out.